What's up, folks? Welcome to another edition of Billy the Kid's No Bullshit Toy Reviews. Today we are taking a look at the Haslab Victory Saber. This was a crowd-funded figure that is either going to blow me away or really disappoint me. I have not opened mine yet. I just want to show it off real quick before we get into the review. This big boy has a shit ton of QC errors, and I don't know if I have any, and we're going to find that out together. So let's get into that right now. All right, here we've got Star Saber, Victory Leo, Holly, and Autobot Fire, as well as the accessories out of their boxes. And to say the set is impressive would be an understatement. It looks great. It does. There's a lot of shelf presence here. So hands off, right off the bat, we've got this blaster here, which is beautiful. It's a nice BFG, big fucking gun, and it looks good. On the picture, they've got Victory Leo holding it, and, for what it's worth, Victory Leo holds it just fine. All right, we're going to give him that. So what I'll do is let's get into these little guys first. These are older molds. These are not new molds made for this set. These guys are painted up to resemble who they once were, and they look good, but you can feel the difference. You can feel the mold degradation. There's loose hips. You go to pose the feet and things pop out. If you try to do too much of a Van Damme, the ball sockets fall out. And I'm not complaining. I'm just being honest about what's in my hands. All right, so Autobot Fire, his shoulders rotate. They kind of go up, they kind of go in, and that's about it. The leg comes up this far. Let's go like so. Bend at the knee. Full Van Damme is absolutely possible. All right, he looks good. He feels like an older mold. He feels like a mold that's been used before. That's how I'm going to leave that. But he does look nice. The colors work. All right, we've got Holly here, and arms come up, arms rotate, head rotates. Beautiful little head sculpt, by the way. This is how far you can get the legs to split. They do not kick forward. They kind of kick back. And obviously, due to transformation, they go all the way at the knee. Limited articulation, again, old mold. Paint looks great, though. That's these two. Out of the way. Let's start with Victory Leo. And, yeah, Victory Leo looks good, has no problem holding any weapons. You can see that right off the bat. Let's just get this out. Let's get this blaster out. Shoulder cannons come forward. You can put your blast effects right in. I have issues with these blast effects. We're going to talk about that in a second. All right, they plug in and hold their place just fine. But what do you see? It's crooked. It's the kind of shit a woman would laugh at. All right, these things were put in their package, maybe still warm, I don't know. But not a single one of my blast effects don't have a bend to it or, some sort of deformation. It's mind-blowing. Look at this. I mean, these were custom-made figures. These should be perfect. There should be no warped plastic. There should be no paint chipping or missing paint apps or anything of the sort. Beautiful face sculpt. Okay, Hasbro did a great job on their face sculpt. Head rotates. And if you want to untab it, you can pull it up. But due to the design, there's nowhere else for it to go. There's no up and down. Shoulders come up this far. If you position the wings right, you can get a full 360-degree rotation here at the shoulder. There are no butterfly joints. You've got a ball socket. You've got a bicep swivel. You've got an excellent bend here at the elbow. Wrist rotation, but the fingers do not fing. There's absolutely no waist articulation. Real bummer there. This is a odd design here. All right, that's how far the hips split apart. Okay, but then you've got this part, which is either transformation or whatever. You guys know I haven't done anything yet. This is all live. This is all firsthand experience. With this odd little thing though, full Van Damme is not an issue. My crotch does not stay closed, so Victory Leo is more of a woman than a man. Super tight ratchets kick you all the way up and get you all the way back. Excellent bend at the knee. Feet bend down, feet come up, and you've got a little bit of a rocker here at the toe. Victory Leo is impressive. I'm not saying it's a bad figure. I'm just saying that there's some weird design quirks here. I have scuffing right out the back on this gold here. I've got bubbles. It's odd. I'm not sure what happened there. From the back, it looks great. Yeah, I mean, it's a good-looking figure. No complaints there in the looks department. I just think that there's a little bit that they could have done to make this a little more posable. I did neglect to state that Victory Saber comes with a sticker sheet for these back wings. I'm not going to apply it. It feels like flimsy paper, and I'm not going to look at him from the back, so we're not going to do that. Let's get to it, though. Attached to his flight stand, we've got Star Saber. Stick this piece right in his ass, and he can fly. Here is Victory Saber. Let's get him static. And we'll talk about him. All right, right off the bat, I do want to say that he is impressive looking. All right, he looks very good. But I've got paint blotches all over the place. And again, made to order, premium figure. I paid more money to have a figure that is limited and high quality and shouldn't have these things. I've got red paint up here. I've got blue paint on the shin. I've got my blue back here isn't fully painted. I've got sprue marks coming through. I mean, we paid good money for this. These are things that shouldn't slip by QC. All right, that's how I'm going to word that. His sword holds fine in his hand, okay? It's about as far down as it's going to go, though. His shield tabs into tabs here on his forearm, but you could take them off, close his hand, and have him hold his shield like so. So the shield works, does just fine. Sword works, does just fine. The head looks up. If you go all the way, you can actually see his smaller form's head in there. So you don't want to go too far up. These antennae are movable. They go in and out. They are very loose. Rotates, rotates. Shoulders rotate. There is a butterfly joint to come inward. Shoulders only go this far. So if you're trying to replicate this picture, it is not going to happen. All right, just want to let you guys know that. You've got a waist rotation and an ab crunch. So they'll get some points for that, all right? The fucking legs come untabbed constantly. You've got this horrible, horrible shoulder here, but you've got a bicep swivel and it's a double jointed elbow, but it's not going to give you all the range just because of the design. All right, and that's the design of this character, not what they did as engineering wise. fingers open, fingers close, and allow him to open his weapon, and you have a rotation at the wrist. I'm going to try to get these arms out of the way to show you what we're working with here in the legs. I'm just going to pull these up to make it easier. You've got great ratchets here at the hip. All right, you cannot kick back. You can kick all the way up. Thigh swivel and a bend at the knee. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing spectacular. All right, that is just the way it is. It's pretty simple. There is a very tight ankle rocker. Feet kind of kick down. And again, with these fucking QC issues, I've got wear here. I've got stress marks from where they put the pin in. That's in his foot as well as his toe. Okay, ridiculous. Kick these down, and that is Star Saber. He looks good. For the most part, he feels good. Very loose friction, by the way, at this top part of the bicep, and then soft ratchets at the elbow. All right, so when you're posing him with his weapons, make sure you use the soft ratchets at the elbow. I'm going to break him down. We're going to do his base mode, and then we're going to do his smaller robot mode. And then we'll do Victory Leo's lion mode, and then we'll combine. All right? All right, after a little bit of transforming, here we've got Victory Leo in his lion mode, and it's posable. It's definitely nice. It looks good. No real issues aside from my lion manes pieces like to pop out. They are very loosely connected. The back legs, as you see, they just lower themselves. They're pretty loose. But moves up, moves down, comes out. Same exact articulation as in the robot mode, but now you've got these lion feet here. Very little motion whatsoever in the head, a little bit of wiggling. This lion's mouth sort of opens, very little, but it opens a bit. All right, here he is from the side, from the top. This cannon loosely connects. It doesn't stay connected, but it'll work for pictures, I guess we'll say. But he looks good. He's impressive. I'm not going to say anything too bad about him. Here is Holly in police car mode, and here is Holly in police car mode. Looks fine. Doesn't really roll well. And here is Fire in his fire truck mode. And he as well looks just fine. Has no issues rolling. Here we've got the main, I guess, center bot, Saber. And he looks good. I have no issues on my copy. All right, this looks fantastic. This is very well done. Feels good, looks good, and works great. The gimmick looks good. Brain of Courage is inside, and it looks well. The gimmick works. You can get rotation with the head. So I applaud them for what they did there. Shoulders come up. Shoulders are also ball socketed. Full rotation is not an issue. You've got a 90-degree bend at the elbow. You've got a bicep swivel, and the hands go in due to transformation. Nothing in regards to posability. It also leaves a big hollow hole. He's got an ab crunch, so that's a big plus. He's also got a waist swivel. He's got a beautiful face sculpt. Legs kick up all the way. Legs kind of kick back. Thigh swivel. Bend at the knee. Toe tilt. And the feet kind of go a little bit up and down. But he's stellar, man. He's done very well. I think he looks good. He might be my favorite part of the set. I dig him. here is the base mode. Be very careful when building this. The shield does not like to stay tabbed in. I mean, if I even breathe on it, I'll show you. Done. You know, it will not stay tabbed in for whatever reason. I guess this might be too soft to fit in here, but my copy does not like to stay tabbed together. But it looks the part. Let's see if we can get something. Yeah, it's not going to. I'm just going to combine these guys and call it a day. It looks the part when you can get it together. And that's how I'm going to put it. I'm going to turn this guy into his spaceship, and we'll move on from there. All right, here he is, Saber in his jet mode, and he looks just fine. Doesn't want to stay secured, but he looks just fine. I don't have the QC error that people are having where this piece can't tab in. It tabs in very securely. Here is the brain of courage, and when I tell you he's small, he is fucking tiny. All right, no detail sculpted into the face, the detail sculpted into the face, but there's no paint on the face. He does, however, bend his legs forward, and you can sit him right inside. Voila. He looks great. Here is the larger component for this giant spaceship mode that we're going to be going into next. And yeah, let's get it going. All right, here is Star Saber in his flight mode. Here he is on his flight stand. He looks good from the top. He looks fine from the side. He looks fine from the front and the bottom. He connects right here inside of his codpiece to this. And I think the jet mode is just fine. He combines with Victory Sabers, I guess jet mode or weapon mode. I don't know what. This piece comes right off and pegs right in here. And also, he looks good. Now these two do combine. I'm going to combine these two and we'll talk about their combined mode. All right, we've got these two combined in jet mode. Let's fix that up. This is supposed to connect here, but it's very loose. All right, I don't know if you can see that. That just does not want to tab in. All right, on top of that, let's see. Look, boom. Too much weight on these blast effects for these blasters. Okay, so that's a bummer. It looks cool. And from the top, that's very impressive. Again, it's just little QC things. And this has been a trend with Hasbro. But I feel like if you're paying a premium for a Haslab product, that shit shouldn't happen. I'm going to combine them into their final mode. I'll give you my final thoughts, and you guys can make your decision right then and there. All right, here is Victory Saber, all dolled up with all the kit and caboodles. He is very large, very impressive. And yeah, I mean, he's good. There's some things that bother me. I don't like that he really can't do much with this big ass gun, even though it would probably look awesome. The shoulder just doesn't work for me. I don't know what I could really do. I had the sprue marks in the feet from the pins being forced, and I had some paint blemishes. Other than that, it's a really cool figure. I love how he can hilt his sword, no problem. The shield works on both arms. The blasters look good. Everything looks good. It's an intimidating figure. There's so much play value. So, you know, it's hard for me because there's so much that this figure offers and can do. It is beautifully engineered. It is very nicely done. Like, the paint looks good. The designs are there. The issue I have is, once again, with Hasbro's quality control. This is a figure that really could have been, like, I would have told you, hey, go eBay it and spend the money. It's worth it. It's worth paying the late tax. But honestly, I don't believe it is. I think that Hasbro's shoddy QC is enough to leave you saying, all right, I'm going to pose it and I'm going to leave it alone. I can't go back and play with it because the plastics feel soft. The plastics feel like, they're not going to work. I would say, if you check out Transformers Game Group and see if there's any games going, it's definitely worth playing on there. That's something I would do. But it's a cool figure with a cool design that ultimately falls a little short, just due to shoddy QC. I think that Hasbro maybe should have taken another month or so to delay it and make sure that everything was perfect before they sent out a figure that, pieces pop off of when you try to pose it. Like, this shouldn't be happening. So for me, buy it if you're a major fan of the character. Buy it if you want to support Haslab. Buy it if you think he looks cool. But if you don't need it, don't get it. I don't know. I'm not in love with this figure. I'm not. I could be. I'm in love with the engineering. I'm in love with the thought that went into it. I'm in love with the play value. It's a fucking awesome figure. But god damn it, Hasbro just keeps killing me with their shoddy QC. And that's what it all boils down to, shoddy QC. Watch the video, look at the modes, decide if they're what you're looking for. I strongly suggest going to Transformers Game Group and trying to win it for a hell of a deal, as opposed to spending the eBay money. That's my thoughts. As always, check out my sponsor, St. Mark's Comics, down in the link below. To my Patreons, thank you for your continued support and belief in my channel. If you like what you see, please give me a like and subscribe. This is Billy the Kid, signing off.